Hello, and welcome to video 5 of our series on the Local School Wellness Policy Triennial Assessment for Connecticut School Meal Sponsors. This video will cover summarizing and sharing your findings. This video was developed in a collaboration between the Connecticut State Department of Education and the University of Connecticut's Rudd Center for Food Policy and Obesity. The fourth step of this process is summarizing and sharing your findings. This step shares the findings of your assessment with the public and during your next administrative review. First, take out Worksheet 4, which is where you are going to write up a summary of your findings to share. The first section of this worksheet is where you will share your strong policies and aligned practices that you outlined in Worksheet 3, Section 1. This is where you will write a narrative describing your district's strengths and where you received 2s throughout the wellness assessment. Below is an example of what should be included in the summary. It reads, "Our district is fully in compliance with all of the federal requirements that regulate school meals and competitive foods. We also offer the National School Breakfast Program daily. We have removed all vending machines from the elementary and middle schools. All of the snacks and beverages in the high school vending machines meet the USDA's Smart Snack standards. We have also successfully met our wellness goals concerning not using food as a reward, ensuring that all food marketing is for foods that can be sold in schools, and providing staff wellness programs monthly." This is where you will describe the areas in which your district is doing well in both policy and implementation. You will publish these findings so that parents and other stakeholders in the district can see the areas in which you are successful. You can also add more information to elaborate on the areas where you received 2s in both the policy and practice scoring. This is Section 2, where you will create an implementation plan. Here, you will share the areas that you identified in Worksheet 3, Section 2, Create Practice Implementation Plan. If there are any federal items that are included within this section of the worksheet, you are required to share them. You will also need to share any items that are within your wellness policies that are not being implemented. Again, here is an example of an implementation plan that can help demonstrate what this section should look like. We identified through our assessment that our policy of integrating nutrition education with the school food environment is being implemented in some schools, but not others. To remedy this, we have developed an implementation plan. We will hold a workshop during a professional development day for all district nutrition educators and food service managers to learn about the activities that have been successfully implemented in some of our schools. We will also create a section of our website to highlight these practices and invite additional ideas from both teaching and food service staff. This process is essentially making sure that any items within your written policy are actually being implemented in practice too. We will now be moving on to Section 3, where you can comment in a narrative on the areas where you need to update your policy. These will be the areas identified in Worksheet 3, Section 3, titled Update Policies. Sharing this narrative publicly is optional. However, if there are any federal requirements that need to be updated, you will need to share those with the public, along with Sections 1 and 2. If there are items that are not federal requirements, you should outline them within this narrative for internal use. It is up to your wellness committee if you will update these topics, as they are not federally required. Here is another example of what this narrative can look like for your district. It says, "We identified through our assessment that there are 15 areas where we are fully implementing wellness practices in our schools that are either A, not mentioned in our wellness policy, or B, are only vaguely mentioned in our policy. 2 of these items are federal requirements. To remedy this, our Wellness Committee will work during the 2021-22 school year to update our wellness policy. We will draft new language in September and October and present it before the Board of Education at their November meeting for a vote. This effort will be led by Mr. Smith and Ms. Jones. This process is essentially making sure that any items that are being implemented in practice are also being supported within your written policy." Section 4 is where you will discuss your opportunities for growth. These will be the areas identified in Worksheet 3, Section 4. Like Section 3, sharing this narrative publicly is optional. However, if there are any federal requirements that need to be updated, you will need to share those with the public, along with sections 1 and 2. If there are items that are not federally required, the Wellness Committee can discuss which items in this section they would like to add to the wellness policy and begin implementing. Below is an example of what this section can look like. It says, overall, our local school wellness policy compared favorably to the model policies as measured by the WellSat 3.0. However, there are several best practices that we have not yet implemented in our practices or written in our policy. These include increasing the amount of time for PE at all levels and having a school wellness team in each of the 8 school buildings. Our Wellness Committee will consider these issues in the spring of 2022 and determine whether we have the resources and support to take on one of these goals for the 2022-23 school year. This process is essentially creating a plan for what the committee will add to the policy and implement in the future. Here is what you will need to share with the public. You will need to share your completed WellSat 3.0 scorecard. You will also need to include sections 1 and 2 of the Identifying Connections Between Policy and Practice worksheet, that is, worksheet 3. You will need to include your public-facing summaries from the Summarizing Your Findings worksheet, that is, worksheet 4. And you will also need to share any federally required items that were in sections 3 and 4 of these worksheets, and include a narrative explaining how your district will update its policies and practices to include all of these required items. You may rework the worksheets you have completed to fit your district's branding, or you can post these worksheets as is. Internally, you will need to retain all your materials from this triennial assessment to share at your next administrative review. Your District Wellness Committee can use the materials from this assessment as you make decisions about updating your wellness policies and practices. While posting sections 3 and 4 of the Identifying Connections and Summarizing Your Findings worksheets publicly is optional, you should retain these internally and use them to plan updates to your wellness policies and practices. Finally, we would like to point out that on the updated WellSat website, there is also a section that reviews the entire triennial assessment process. You can use this to supplement the information you have already received. Please note that the information on the WellSat website is not tailored to the specific requirements for Connecticut, so please refer to the information you have received from the State Department of Education regarding what you are required to share. This concludes video 5, Summarizing and Sharing Your Findings. If you have any questions regarding the triennial assessment process, please feel free to contact us. Thank you for watching, and good luck with your 2021 triennial assessments.